What's going on, everybody? I'm back with another new podcast. Let's talk today because I saw a video from former Olympic athlete Lolo Jones that got me thinking, and it sent me down another rabbit hole. So I want to share with you guys what I came back with. I'm interested to hear your thoughts, and we're going to jump right into that. But before we do, I want to take a second to thank everybody that is subscribed to the channel. Special shout out to the fellas in Africa. Y'all are showing up in the comments. I can tell that y'all are hitting that notification bell, so you are the first ones to hear all the videos. And I can also tell that you are showing love to the like button. But let's get into it.
I've waited for my husband for so many years, and I'm just getting mad, and I'm about to turn 40. There's a lot of stress on me right now. Blood work came back normal, hormone levels are normal, so we're gonna proceed with the process of building these things.
This is the unfortunate reality a lot of modern women are facing. They're getting older, they're childless, and the possibility of having a family is getting smaller and smaller, so they turn to treatments like these. Now, you may be asking yourself, how does an attractive woman like Lolo Jones make it to 40 without being married and having the children that she wants? Well, the answer to that was revealed 10 years ago by her on Twitter. She let everyone know that she is actually a virgin. Now, everybody knows the older you get, the more your virginity is going to work against you. I would say up to maybe 22, 23, it's an asset. But after that, it's going to start to turn into a liability. Because guys want some kind of sexual maturity. No, we don't want you to be ran through, but we at least want you to understand what you like, understand what we like, so the experience is good for both of us. Men do not want to be in a position where y'all are in the middle of having sex and you look back at him and you're like, oh, what's that? And he looks back at you and he says, oh, this? That's just my thumb.
I'ma put my thumb in a butt.
Boop. Now, I know the next questions a lot of you may have. Well, what kind of men did she go after, and what was her attitude like when she was with them? Well, she doesn't have much of a dating history that can be found, but to no one's surprise, she has dated an athlete. She's dated NBA star Jimmy Butler. No, not that Jimmy Butler, this Jimmy Butler. Now, they dated back in 2017 and they dated for 7 months, which is a long time considering he is an NBA star. In every city and state that he goes to, there's probably a woman throwing some buns at him. But they didn't last long and it proved to be a liability. Now, the next part of it is attitude. Now, there isn't much to speak of in terms of dating, but we do have this quote. Lolo was also on MTV The Challenge and she quit halfway through the season, so her castmates had some things to say about her. So here's one quote. She says, Lolo, stop blaming production for you losing, Trishelle quipped. As a professional athlete, you have a piss poor attitude. Trishelle went on to invite Lolo to a face-off. I was at a crawfish boil today in Baton Rouge, and it took everything in me not to knock on your door to get you to say this to my face. Girl, bye, she exclaimed. Now, this does not mean that this attitude she brought into her dating life. However, I do believe that how you show up in one area of your life is how you'll show up in another area of your life. So if she was like this in the dating world, she was doomed to fail. Now, another thing that she said was she's been waiting for her husband for years. Now, this is a problem that a lot of modern women have today. They're just waiting. They're not putting in any effort. They're not cultivating their character and figuring out what it is that is going to make them more attractive to a man aside from their looks. And that is not a winning formula. I think that there is the Disney delusion that happens. See, a lot of women think that they're just gonna be walking down the street one day, they're gonna bump shoulders with this tall, dark, handsome guy who's also reading a book that you knocked out of his hand. And when you look down, you find out that it's your favorite book. And you try to help him out and you try to reach down for that book. But when you do, he does as well. And your hands meet at the book and you look at each other with those shining, shimmering, glimmering eyes, and just with a little bit of Disney magic. You found the man of your dreams. Unfortunately, reality does not work like that. If you want to achieve something, you have to put in the work and effort to attain it. That includes a husband and a family. But we're gonna pivot off of this to talk about another woman. Her name is Brigitte Adams. Now, you may have heard about her a few years ago, but she was the face back in 2014 of freezing your eggs. She was a career woman. She was attractive, blonde hair. She was fluent in Italian. She worked for tech companies. So she was the perfect example of a career woman that you could follow behind. And what happened with her? Well, she paid $19,000 to freeze 11 of her eggs. And according to her, it was to stave off having to settle down and get pregnant and have a baby, missing out on good years of her career. So she figured that those treatments would allow her to be a career woman just a little longer. But she never found Mr. Right that she was waiting on. So when she turned 45, she thought that it was time to unthaw those eggs, and she was very excited about doing that. But what ended up happening was those eggs were not usable. Some of them died in the unthawing process, some of them were abnormal, and the last one just ended up failing. And she was quoted saying this: "It was one of the worst days of my life. There were so many emotions. I was sad, I was angry, I was ashamed. I questioned, why me? What did I do wrong?" Now, the only thing she did wrong was believe advertisers who told her this was a way to stop time and have it all. The numbers just do not add up. On average, a woman freezing 10 eggs at 36 has a 30 to 60% chance of having a baby with them, according to published studies. The odds are higher for younger women, but they drop precipitously for older women. They also go up with the number of eggs stored, as does the cost, but the chance of success varies so wildly by individual that reproductive specialists say it's nearly impossible to predict the outcome based on aggregate data. Now, with varied results like these, it would not be wise for anyone to put their full trust and faith in vitro fertilization. Yes, it helps out a lot of women and couples achieve their dreams of having a family. But for those that can do it naturally, that should be their primary focus, in this only in emergency situations, or if you've had some kind of condition that is making it harder for you to conceive a child naturally. But there are a lot of women who are just doing this just because they want to work a few more years, but they're not getting all the information that they need, or not even trying to get the information that they need. They just see something that they like, they've been pandered to, and they want to accept it. It is as if you are in a forest and suddenly there are 5 ways that you could go. You can go this way, that way, that way, that way, and this way. And as you're making your decision, I pop out the woods like fucking Chris Hansen, and I start to tell you about the paths that you can go down. And you look back at me and you say, no, I don't need you to explain anything. I want to go down this path. it has rainbows. And I look back at you and I say, well, look, let me tell you about the pitfalls, the pros, the cons. You might want to know. No. There's cotton candy down this path. I want to have cotton candy. Okay, but it is a long road. Are you sure you don't want me to explain what's going to happen? No. Look, there's a clown. I want to follow a clown. And look, he also has a mirror. It must be one of those funhouse mirrors because when I look into it, I see a clown too. Woo! And you go down that path and you find out later down the line that it's full of potholes and crackheads and junkies, and you're mad and you look back with full audacity and no accountability at everyone else and you say,
a clown? He's a clown? Why didn't I see it before?
no accountability. But that's going to be it. I will leave you with this gem before I go. There's a documentary on Netflix called The Bleeding Edge. It came out in 2018. And if you like this kind of stuff, if you want to hear more about medical treatments and devices that had bad consequences for people that use them and also the people that they use to promote them, you want to check this out. I thought that it was very good. But that's going to do it. So subscribe to the channel, like the video, and if you have anything to say, please leave it in the comments below. And until another time, I'll see you guys later.